Oh, are we starting? Sorry, I was doing some light reading. I was, Neon is coming out into Valorant. There's this chapter in this book I'm reading. It's about what good movement looks like.
Okay.
And the first sentence is, watch a full match of me playing Fortnite and take notes on my movement. How often am I moving on my own terms? And how often am I reacting to something else when I move? That's what you got to think about when you're playing Neon, huh, Bren? That's what I've just been reading up on.
Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm trying to rank up. Everyone's making it to Immortal. I gotta get every advantage that I can. Right? So I picked up Ninja's book so I could make it to Immortal. Okay?
This is something special. This is something special. I'm amazed. How many pages is this? They fit 159 pages of this.
There's a lot of information in that.
Well, guys, welcome to the Plat Chat Reviews Books episode.
Yeah. Right.
Review.
Also, welcome everybody to the Plat Chat VALORANT child game pod show. Welcome everybody. So what do we got going on today, huh? I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about Neon, right? That's the talk of the town.
Mm-hmm.
Neon is in the game, kind of. Wait,
I think she's been
added today. Did she just get added today? Is that today then, technically? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So Neon is, in fact...
when this is posted, it was yesterday.
So, yeah, but they get it. I mean,
so.
Today for them, they're still in the game.
Yes.
She's
out.
She's in the game.
She's out.
Neon is in the game. And because we're cool, because we're influencers, because we have followers, we got clout influence. Yep. We got to check out the new agent over the weekend before everyone else.
I didn't get to play
special. Oh, you didn't?
No, every game I played, it was always, oh yeah, you.
Why didn't you play it? We give you so many opportunities.
No. I every time I said, can I play Neon? And someone else locked her in before me every single time. And then... But the second time, the second time, they didn't have the cascading feature in yet. But the second time was I went to the restroom and came back, and I was like, oh, I was gonna ask to play Neon. Someone else locked it. Fair enough. And then I was like, okay, I'll just play in the next game, and everyone was like, yeah, cool. And then two people left, and we couldn't find a game.
Yeah, okay.
And so I didn't get to play Neon at all in the early test, but she seems cool.
Dude, I saw Balla, you were posting all types of clips. You're shooting one guy, running around. Ooh, here he goes, going to the next position, shoots another guy. Kurt, pull up the Balla clips. They're somewhere on his Twitter account.
The Balla clips are on the Twitter account. They actually are pretty...
They're against me.
Dude, I hear Kurt furiously typing. He's slamming keys. Well, Balla, what were your first impressions then? I saw you posting a lot about Neon. You were tweeting. You were putting your thoughts and opinions out there online for people to read. Share them with the listeners now.
She's a fun agent. Like just playing in general, like in terms of a duelist, she's really fun. There's no, like, it's not like a Phoenix that sometimes you're just getting blasted all the time. Like, you have stuff to do in the game with all the different abilities, and they're very, very useful. I just don't think she's that strong. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think she's that strong. But I do think can be really good in the hands of a really good player. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, but what is the fun factor? 0 to 10.
The speed, bro. Look at that.
I know.
I know. All the way to halls, and then I'm running down halls into Sussy.
You had that effect yourself?
Was that in game, or did you do that in After Effects?
No, that was the dash. That's what happens when you speed it up.
That's crazy. Damn, she do be going fast. What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, we finally got a good look at all of her abilities. We know what she does now. You just fired off one of the little stuns there. It's like a breach stun and a sort of like a grenade radius that you fire off, and it moves really quickly.
It's pretty powerful, actually. Even though it is a stun, it fires at the same speed as a max speed arrow from Sova.
Yeah.
And it has the same recoil or rebound as a Sova as well. So it works in the exact same way as that, but it's like one press and you can't hold it. It literally, you press it, and as soon as you release the key, it's out of your hands.
So fast.
Yeah, it's so quick to use. And Balla was fucking farming us with his ult.
The ult is... All right, the ult looks overpowered, but it's not overpowered. I know that's a controversial opinion so far. People think it's busted as hell, but outside of like After Plat, if you are struggling with the ult, I think that there's something wrong with your movement, as Ninja said.
Yeah, as Ninja said. I mean, that guide is not just for Fortnite. It's for all games. How to get good at games in general. So, you gotta, that's the holy book.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of talk about the ult. I mean, obviously, inherently in a TAC FPS style game, any character that has enhanced mobility, that immediately makes them, to some extent, increases their possibility of being relevant, right? I mean, being able to move quickly, move from position to position is just really powerful. At the beginning of rounds, being able to run to a position before other people post up on an angle, maybe throw down one of the stuns early to lock down an area of the map, that is all just inherently going to be good in the kind of game that Valorant is. The walls are pretty cheeky as well. They seem, I mean, I think there's going to be, I remember I saw you post about this, Ball, and I definitely agree, which was just the amount of mind games that we're going to see with the walls. Are they going down the center of the wall? Like, when are they going to peek through? It's just very tricky to get a handle on someone playing around the double wall. I mean, here you look like Cooler at QuakeCon 1999, just LGing everybody down. But I mean, the ult is, it's one of those things again where, like, inherently having an ultimate that can affect the economy in a positive way will make the agent's potential relevancy in the meta higher. But yeah, how good is it actually?
You get infinite dashes. Right?
No, you don't.
Slides when you're using the ult?
They refresh the same rate as they would normally.
So it's only two. Well, even when you're using the ult.
I heard conflicting information. I never checked it. That it might be one kill, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I just have to check. I'll go check right now. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that if you got the ult, you could slide as much as you wanted, as long as your energy was intact.
Yeah.
While you're popping it. But I don't know, because if that's the case, it makes it all way better. But now I'm coming around to your point of view, Balla, which was when I played against you, I was like, this agent is fucking broken. I hate it because you were running us down. I was trying to trade out my teammates, and you would just be moving at the speed of you'd be breaking the sound barrier in my game by wide swinging out, and you'd be fully accurate, tracking us all down. But it doesn't have the same. The way you put it, like with jet knives, you can jiggle peek a corner and you can one tap somebody. You can micro peek this kind of shit. With this ult, you have to be tracking somebody for at least like half a second, which still the time to kill is incredibly low on it. But it's not like you can jiggle peek out of a corner and headshot somebody instantly with the ult. Right. It does consistent damage no matter where you're shooting.
Right. It does.
You're trading damage no matter what it is, right? Against burst damage. That's all the guns in this game are burst damage. Like the DPS doesn't, like, sure, it matters, but like you're hoping that you get a Vandal one tap or something like that more than anything else. So if you are trading consistent slower damage, I mean, it's fast as fuck, but that's where it just isn't that good because somebody is going to take that opportunity to one tap you while you're trying to get 3 hits on them or 4 hits on it or whatever.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah,
this is where I tried to trade you out.
The thing, it does seem like an ability though that it would be really powerful with some decent team play and setting up your Neon to get in, because you can just capitalize off of like a well-placed Sky Flash or Breach Stun, like some kind of utility piece, and then you can capitalize off of it so quickly because you're just running around fast as fuck. So that does seem like it would be more relevant in that way, but still the economic implications, like the first thing that jumps to mind is just having a Jett, having a Neon. I mean, Avast is just
lost a jewel in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's gone to the fucking Shadow Realm.
Yugi, they've minted me to the blockchain. Stop helping.
But do you think that there's going to be some relevancy there with that style of comp, like having a Jett and a Neon,
running at people
in a chamber? No, just having all these ultimates that just give you free weapons, just the all economy comp, just free weapons on every round. You never have to save. Like, is that realistic, or is that just such an obvious way to look at it that it'll get tried and tossed aside.
I think you can't really build comps around one strength in this game because there are teams winning championship tournaments playing comfort picks. Like I'm looking at the finals on Split playing a comp that most people thought was old. And like Bone Cold's in interviews saying, well, here's the justification for it. Like he's saying that, oh, the Yeoman can TP past slows and past the util. But at the end of the day, it's like comfort picks for them. Like as long as some of the best teams in the world are still playing comps that in theory aren't quote unquote the best, but still winning, like I don't really think you can think about Valorant at the moment in terms of just trying to like amplify the strengths of agents by like playing a comp that does well like that.
Well, I mean, the eco comp is what, three agents plus 2 fills. I think they could fill in the gaps. I think it actually is kind of viable.
I mean, whether you'd have like an Astra and
Astra,
like
and then
there's more that goes
like
into the game than just
something.
Sky or
building around
Astra
Sky
Sky,
or
Astra Sova, something like that.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, not bad. Like there's no is there really a util gap when you think about that? If you were playing the 3 econ like agents, like there's no, if you get an Astra and a Sova or a Sky, like I feel like that's a perfectly viable comp because I feel like you don't have to think about it from just the perspective of econ, but like what's their util? Like how do you fill out that team utility wise? Like what value do you get? And you could definitely have everything. You could still reasonably have everything with that composition.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't think that the rest of what that video's over now. I don't think the rest of her kit is. This is me talking.
Yeah, what you're doing right now. So
I talk a lot.
You're really talking right now, so don't need that.
Oh, Asuna movement tech. Whoa!
Saw button smashed.
I don't think the rest of her clip or her kit is good enough to warrant going for the economy like stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, she's not going to replace Jett, I don't think, in comps. She's going to be probably used as a flex.
I think Jett Chamber is enough to get that economy value. I don't think her ult is good enough to actually be that, oh, we have a weapon on an eco round, or we can have a full new buy. Like,
yeah.
So I don't think she's that, even though I agree that there's possibilities to mess with it. But Jett Chamber's enough already to have literally a full buy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
2 full buys in one half. Like extra. It's crazy.
It is actually just busted. That being said, though, there was news today that just came out like an hour ago, something like that, in regards to Neon being played in the VCT qualifiers. If you can pull up that tweet, Curtis. But it's in reference to the regions where Neon will be allowed in the initial qualifiers and allowed later in the qualifiers in other regions. But for the ones that we're, most often talking about or looking at, like NA, I believe Neon is just going to be in from the jump in North America. So that'll be really, really interesting. And as the current topic title says, or asks rather, should Neon be allowed in this? And that is the question. Is this a good decision, Neon being added into the game, and then the teams get about, 20-ish days or 15-ish days, something like that, to actually practice with Neon or integrate her into their comps if they choose? Or will it not really matter at all because there's so little time that the teams are just going to play what they were playing anyway?
The first day of open quals 27th in NA? Isn't it the 27th?
Yes, it's 2 weeks from now.
So it'd be exactly 2 weeks
from
this date. And then also on top of that, this is also the first time Chamber's being played. So you're getting Chamber and Neon both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep. And the map changes.
Which is going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. I don't know. I feel like 2 weeks is not an insane thing, but also when you talk about the new format that's happening for NA and there's less Masters events, and so you only have and you have less quals too, I feel like some people are going to be very frustrated with Neon being added so soon, right before VCT starts for the first open quals.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks is not a lot of time. And you don't have that many chances if you're not a directly invited team to get through.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that point completely. I mean, if it's a singular qualifier for NA, right? And they're letting her in alongside Chamber. So I find that a little bit perplexing. But I imagine the decision-making comes from they've given ample time. Everybody's going to be on the same playing field. Also, I don't think Neon is the kind of agent where you introduce her and you're going to be up against like a cheese comp. You know what I mean? Like I don't think she's going to fundamentally change the game. I don't think she's going to replace Jett. She's probably going to be used if anything in that kind of slot next to Jett in terms of what role she occupies. Because in terms of her utility, like her wall is kind of cool. It's 300 credits for the old Viper wall essentially. And then she can run fast, and if you can aim, she does well. But yeah, I don't think she's going to revolutionize or change the game to such a degree where Sentinels get knocked out in round 128.
Because Brimstone Gaming have a Neon. I think I'm kind of okay with it. I think that it's just enough time, but also I think it's in a decent area of time where, like, if a team can actually manage to figure out how to effectively use Neon and also are willing to risk it with getting about 15 to 20 days practice with her, if a team is willing to risk it and they feel like they've figured something out and they want to run Neon in the qualifier, I think that's cool, and I'm pretty okay with it because I think that that's going to be extremely tough. I think that most of the teams that are just going to be playing what they've been practicing with would do much better.
If you're playing Neon comps,
risk it. Like,
you probably weren't having a good shot of it in the first place, is what I feel like. You know what I mean? You didn't have confidence in your comps or game plans that you've been prepping this entire time in the lead up to it.
Or if it just so happens that there's a team that they really think that, no, Neon actually is like, this is an S tier pick. Yeah. We're going to run her, and we're going to run her in these comps that we think are good, and they make it work. And I think that would be cool. If a team managed to do that and risked it, though, with this little, what little time there is. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's unfair. Sorry, go ahead, Balla.
I think there's some replacements in comps where you could use Neon and it'll slot in pretty okay, and then you'll just have extra cool stuff that'll come from it. So, I mean, we haven't seen it, so I'm not willing to say that it's not going to be picked at all or anything like that, because who knows what they're going to find with like the wall executes or something like that could really change how I see it. But either way, like, everybody's on the same page, so I'm not too worried about it. I think it'd be cool if somebody does pull it out, but it's fine. I mean, what else are they gonna like? It's gonna suck if we don't have Neon and then these teams like get knocked out. We don't see them for months, and then we have another new agent and another new map, and like that it's just, I think there's no winning in this situation anyways. So I think you should just go for what opportunity allows, which is add the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to be an inevitable situation that just comes up over and over again, right? I mean, just with how many agents are being released.
Yeah, it's a factor you got to realize that the esports side of a game is often used as a marketing arm for new agents, new patches, and things like that. Mm-hmm. So this is going to come up, and as long as they give a reasonable amount of time so that there's like competitive integrity across the board where teams have enough time to practice with that agent in, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, it's get used to it. It's probably going to be a regular thing. Yep.
What were you going to say though, Avast?
Oh, that's pretty much it. It was just like, I think that there's no better time to do it than now. Even though I understand why teams are going to be frustrated, it's just the VCT hasn't started yet. You have 2 weeks to integrate it. And also, Valorant as a game, I feel like, yes, there are definitely very meta-defining agents, but as we've seen from champs that just finished, and even from other events, is that at the end of the day, you can make it. You don't know. I don't think any agent is like possible where like you can get by. Like, you simply must play this agent all the time, right? Like, obviously there are very meta-defining agents, but you can still always come up with stuff that works. And also that includes excluding agents from the roster, right? That people define as currently very meta. So I do think that, like, even if she's really good, or there's some sort of like extremely cheese strategy, unless it's just like game breaking, teams are going to be able to just play their own game and be fine without Neon.
Yeah, sure. Alongside Neon, though, there was a huge patch. I mean, one of the big things in the patch were map changes. I mean, actual just the gif of the fish looking around for icebox changes. I mean,
the first thing I did.
Where are they?
The first thing I did on the influencer patch was load up icebox and go to B sides.
Where are they? Yeah. I mean, there's no. I mean, Maybe though. Maybe there were no changes because they're prepping something big.
Dude, did you see? Did you guys see the title of the cinematic? Warm up.
Oh, and you thought about Icebox? The melting of the polar ice.
Dude, what if
Valorant take a stance on the environment?
What if
Icebox
is getting warmed up?
Yeah.
The B side's getting defrosted. Pop that shit in the microwave. Defrost. 5 minutes. New map. New B site. Eventually, at some point.
Becomes Hotbox, and they announced the Weed Maps crossover. The Hotbox. This is gonna be.
But they did change Breeze. Breeze was very attacker sided. Everybody knows it, and they tried to do some things to work against that. We could start with Breeze, Kurt, because those were the big changes. So
Breeze changes are dope.
In main here on A, the door is smaller. Door used to be real big.
Oh, no, this is the old door here.
Oh, is that the old one?
Yeah, that's the old door.
Oh, show me the new
one. There's a new one here.
There we go.
Thick.
It's thick. It's thick and compact.
Yeah.
Thick and compact. So initially they just, the choke is harder to get through. It's going to be more difficult to get through when you just throw up your little Viper wall and you're trying to run behind it. And they also changed part of the back sight on A as well, by the box. Where
So
they added a box for
this
caves,
box
too.
here that they added in main
Yeah.
is so that the attackers can peek out and not get instantly opt from middle pyramids.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Because it just blocks that
Also,
one.
to give space to defense if they take cave control.
Yep. And then
They also made it harder
we
to like
go.
clear the close angle, right? Because they extended the left side of like the caves exit / entrance. So isn't it? So because before, if you held close to that angle on caves as defense, you would just get automatically checked
yeah.
from like
one,
the
yeah.
hall. Yeah, and now you can actually hold that close angle and not get immediately checked from there. So there is some other stuff going on with that.
Yeah, and then the box stack is now just a big crate. They just have way more. There's just a larger object in the environment that you can play around backside. And also, it makes playing backside so much more safe when you're getting, like if you're getting pinched from mid and main, that kind of thing. If you got caught at the little double stack before and there were players coming through mid doors, or I mean, like if they were coming halls, you were completely dead. But even if they were coming mid doors, you were just under so much pressure. They could just spam through the box a little bit and kill you. You were just getting destroyed, and it was so hard to play in that back area. But now you actually can play there. That's a pretty large, solid box that you can actually play around and not get shot from the attacking players who are pushing at the back pyramid, that kind of thing. So
Yeah, just fucking play retake.
Yeah. Actually.
You
Playing
can
retake
fall
on
back,
there
you can rotate in. It's just
Yep.
this big orange box. Obviously, I think that's the biggest change on the site, just because it allows you to not have to duel before getting close to the site.
How many times you've been playing retake? You swing off a bridge, and in that right pyramid, someone just swings there, and you have to take a fight there before you even get onto site. Like, yeah, it's you can now just push from main. I think it blocks that line of sight angle, so you only have to clear backside and stairs. It's pretty cool, and they extended out the water as well, and got rid of the wood box as well that most people hide behind and just spam as a default maneuver, so it makes it more defensible, I guess. But yeah, just making it more consistent across the board.
Yeah. Very cool, though. Very cool.
Most underrated change in that pool is the fucking steps. You used to like
You were
used to
saying
have
this.
drop offs, but it's nice. It's a nice smooth ramp on almost all the sides.
I didn't even
you don't
notice
have
this.
fucking-
This is a
It's so
very
nice.
underground change we're talking about here.
Look, see all those.
Yeah,
they're so rigid. The only
I
ramp
see
is
what
the
you mean
front.
now. The big step off there compared to the new changes where it's all just flat. It's a gradient.
I have not gotten to play on Breeze yet. I have not yet played new Breeze. But have you guys been enjoying it? Or like, what's the initial
so much
feel?
better. I mean, there's even more changes to
We
the
didn't
other
even get
side
to
as
the-
well.
Yeah, there's even more for the other
Like,
site.
Yeah.
This mid change, I didn't even realize what they did. I swear to God, I was staring at this picture this morning for about 15 minutes. And I was like, what the fuck did they change? They just basically, I read the text because there's a fact
The
that
text is misleading, bro. I'm like, adjusted the curved wall in mid.
Do you see there's a corner jutting out of elbow? Like in between bricks and elbow, or like on the back wall of elbow, there's a corner, you see?
Wait, keep going.
Like, there. That corner, that's gone now. They just flanned it out.
Yeah. all flat.
It's just one less thing to clear.
The game will
really.
never be the same.
But I swear to God, I spent 15 minutes this morning. I was looking at it. I was like, am I being trolled? Like, what am I looking at?
The game will never be the same. Incredible.
Breeze
Kurt,
redefined.
enhance. Zoom in.
Enhance. I mean, it is pretty. I think it's really nice that they are, or at least besides Icebox, which they have just, I guess, decided to set up the ARG for. That they're doing.
Gotta be doing a big.
I think they're doing a
rework.
big rework. That's why. Because I think these changes on Breeze were kind of, I don't want to say they were obvious, but they were like, I think these were problems that were easier to fix rather than Icebox. I think needs such a massive rework where actually on these sites just making some bigger boxes and changing the choke a little bit does make a really big difference. It's just small things where Icebox needs a pretty huge overall. But yeah, this is the new B side now, and so there's boxes in the back. The wall in the back extends further, so you can you don't get killed if you peek. If an attacker is watching through main and you're playing in the back left of sight, you can actually cross over without getting killed. And there's a little box in front of the site. There's just boxes everywhere. There's all types of new boxes.
But it's all well thought out, like in terms of how they were thinking about it. Balla, you said it best when we were going through the map when we were on the influencer test, but you were saying like they just learned all the lessons from Fracture.
Yeah, it feels like all the good angles and stuff that I like about Fracture so much. The cover, being able to actually have a bunch of different places to play from and setups. It's just feels like they applied that to Breeze. Just really good changes overall. I'm not sure how I feel yet about the B site though, because it feels like a lot of gambling. Even though there is a lot of spots, it's hard to walk into this site and clear things effectively.
I mean, I do like the box though, because before I felt like sometimes you might even be actively punished for taking aggressive post plants on Breeze when you've taken the site, because like when you were coming out from back site, there was no extra angles to clear in particular, even if you're playing that wall, while the box makes it a little bit harder, and it's a little bit easier to play, like to just rotate if you're a defender too. So I do like the box overall.
Which box? Yeah.
But not the box watching main, the box that's actually in the back site, like closer to
the wood one?
Yeah, the wood one. I like that, but I like because actually I feel like a lot of times people get punished for taking aggressive post plants after playing on B, because there was just no extra cover off that wall, so it was really easy to clear a lot of times. Like it was felt like a one and done oftentimes. It was like what you couldn't really effectively trade.
Yeah, so that is that is Breeze now, and then also if you want to scroll back up, Kurt, I just jumped to Breeze because that had the big changes, but those are a couple changes, small ones on Bind, but this is being the main one. We all remember that box. Oh no! They
no
cut
more
it in
Viper
half.
one ways.
Dude, they opened the boxes now.
Ways.
I'm in good change.
I like how this change has a storyline. There were 2 closed boxes, and now the boxes have been opened.
And the goods are open.
Changes.
The market is
All
open.
they had was bananas.
Trade has returned to the region.
I mean, bananas used to be a luxury good, so really this could just be if it's some sort of
more spices.
Crisis,
why is there a wheel on the side of this box?
Maybe it was like a cart, and it like transforms.
This is high tech as hell.
It's an Autobot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an Autobot from the year 1100. That's pretty sick. That is so cool. Holy shit.
It sells spices.
Yeah, so that was the main change. And then, I mean, there's no more one-ways.
No more one-ways.
Yeah,
you
no
can
more
now, you can't just Sage wall it off, and if nobody breaks it, it's
Right.
It's not a problem. That's more of a problem for ranked, because which is probably what they're balancing for around this as well, is that sometimes you're just playing a ranked game on Bind and your teammates just don't shoot the Sage wall as a default, and they just get away with peace of mind for half a round.
That does that does happen a lot, actually. That used to happen all the time, though. Sage walls used to just perplex the minds of the masses. They would go up and everyone just people just wouldn't know what to do. Just shoot it. So that was the one little. What was the other one? I didn't
bench. They added
bench.
I didn't even see this one, to be honest.
Yeah, this
What
was
this?
cool.
Oh, that okay.
It just means a little bit of extra elevation so that you can swing either from back. You can swing on the bench, and then I think you can see just over the truck box, default box. I didn't test it, so I might be just talking out my ass. It seemed that way though when I was just swinging out, but
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so
I don't like these changes. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't like these bind changes?
They just make it so that you duel down this lane way like the same as always. Sure, you can peek over the box, but like the bench, for example, they didn't do anything functionally to change how the map works, and I think that that this map needed something like that. I mean, they're fine. It's not like these changes are bad. I guess maybe I should have rephrased what I was saying, but it just doesn't do much for me at all on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly will not affect how bind is played, which is just, I mean, you spawn at you just start the round at the sites. You're just there. It's but I mean, listen, bigger fish to fry. Icebox needs a change, and then after that, I still would be interested in some kind of bind rework to open up a mid lane, open up something in the map, make it a bit more interesting. Because as it stands, it's just a bit too formulaic. I think especially in ranked is just
Am I in the minority?
I think it's decent. I think it's pretty good in pro play to watch, but I think in ranked it just often is just so static.
Yeah.
You're just there, you're standing, you're looking down the same lanes. It's just,
it suffers from the same problem where people are infected with ranked brain and they don't know how to take and hold space on attack side of any map, because the bind is you just need to play the extremities and take control. But people just want to zug 5-man rush places.
That's a good strat. Good ranked strat. I was like, wait, rush A? Poggers.
Rush A?
What were the other changes, Kurt?
5 players hookah?
What else? Was there anything else huge in this patch? Anything that
The gun changes.
The gun changes
were big. Gun changes were really big, actually. Also,
whoa. New skins?
Spoiler.
The gun changes were quite large. In fact, there is currently an outroar on Twitter, on Valorant Twitter, about one gun. One gun named after a particular Greek god, Ares.
Oh.
No, the Ares.
It's at the top, Kurt. It's at the top. Yeah, we brushed past it all.
Scrolling.
But we can start with this. I think we can start with the other changes first, which are fine. So.
Right. So I agree.
Actually,
the melee's been too tricky to aim with. Ooh, are they fixing melee because there's a melee agent coming soon?
Yeah, melee build agent.
Reinhardt. The melee's been too tricky to aim with, making it tough to rely on. So they've updated left and right click melee attacks to more reliable agent whacking action. So the hitboxes are larger by 1.5x. And the left click hitboxes are now larger than a right click and have a longer range.
Stabbing motion.
Yeah, so it's just easier to get kills with melee now. Honestly, I'm cool with that because getting melee kills in this game was just way too weird. It just felt so clunky. It didn't really make a lot of sense. Like oftentimes just felt like you should have gotten a hit, but you didn't, that kind of thing. So, okay, you know what? I'll take that.
Remember that one guy that always posts the melee compilations when we're ever doing co-streams and we have to watch them? He's going to be busting out a new one after these changes.
With the changes.
He's busting out a new
7 new Twitter frag movies ready to go. Then more importantly, the Spectre was changed. And yeah, I saw people talking about this, they have attempted to nerf the Spectre in some ways. So the firing error occurs at earlier bullet stages. What have you guys played with this new Spectre?
I've played a little bit of it, and it's essentially just they're trying to address the guns just can't be as good long range, and trying to make it so when you're running and gunning, you can't just have all those clips of people just straight up fucking
they're trying to nerf
killing
Aaron. They're trying to ruin
There's
Aaron's
a lot of,
career. Poor guy.
You can definitely feel the impact, but I haven't played enough to know if it's like enough to necessarily.
It's not
significantly.
Is
Yeah,
it
I don't
not
think it's like. I feel like you could feel it, but is it enough? I don't know. I haven't played enough.
What did they do in this? I mean, they're using so much jargon. My tiny brain is overheating.
Dude, whenever I hear pitch and yaw,
I'm thinking of boats. Like I'm thinking about guns. I'm thinking about
Sailor
boats.
Hook. So
it's running and gunning in long range.
The recoil. Yes. They've increased the recoil both vertically and horizontally.
Also, it starts to have a higher firing error earlier
Yeah.
in general. So
Okay.
instead of like the bullets 4, 7, and 10, it's bullets 3, 6, 8. So essentially you just have more firing area earlier. In addition to that, like when you're for horizontal 2, there's less, which is mostly running and gunning is this horizontal swinging, is you have less like protected bullets from like lack of like from error essentially. So like you start getting more error sooner as well. It's just increasing the error, like like just increases the accuracy across the board kind of. So and it hits it pretty hard,
Okay.
but not
Gotcha.
that hard if you've played it yet. It doesn't feel super significant.
You played with it, Balla?
So
currently.
you don't think this hasn't changed at Balla? It's still busted. You're still
No.
just running around playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. What are you?
Maybe,
what are people doing?
I was already full tilted because of the Ares, but there's a guy running around on one of my placement games, and he was just the exact same thing. It's just a run. I mean, I guess it didn't really change the problem, which was the close range running gunning more than anything.
Yeah.
Like sure, the medium range and long range stuff,
The
whatever.
long range running and gunning, dude. If you're long range running and gunning with the Spectre,
Nasty.
you are crazy. You are nuts. Fucking running around all the way in Breeze A main, just back of tunnel, just spraying into the site, dude. You're crazy. But what were we saying?
I think it might. Doesn't it just need more time, Balla?
Well,
'Cause,
okay.
like,
The
I
problem
thought-
is right now in ranked, like you can't really tell because everybody's using Ares. But
Yeah.
I mean, from the one guy who was pissing me off, everybody else is using Ares. This guy is running gunning with his fucking Spectre still.
'Cause-
it didn't seem like it changed that much, to be honest.
I
but-
thought the same thing when they changed the classic, and then because my short term opinion was like, oh, this didn't change anything. They need to go further. But then actually, no, I think the classic is in actually a pretty good space.
Yeah, could be. Could
With the
be.
right
It was
click
only
and
one
stuff,
dude,
so.
and I didn't use the Spectre because I was abusing the Ares. So who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
I'm a big Spectre user. Oh no, I gotta give it some.
I'm just switching
honest
over to the
time.
Marshall full time.
The Marshall's crazy.
I'm switching to the Marshall
Dude.
full time. Oh god.
I mean, the Marshall is actually nuts. I mean, it's just so cheap. But anyhow, what's going on with the Ares here? They removed the spin up and they increased the firing rate.
Yeah.
I
What?
played
That's
all of my
godly.
placements today. Dude,
It's
I
godly.
what's the agent, the robot in Overwatch who has the ult and he turns into a minigun? My
Bastion.
entire games are
Bastion.
10 people ulting with Bastion. Like just the
It's
entire
actually
time.
nasty. It's
so
kind of nasty.
stupid.
Is
It's
it-
so cheap. You could buy it every single round and just fucking play. You can just play the game. It's ridiculous. It is actually really bad right now. I think
It's
they
heavy
need to
weapons
revert
guy.
this change.
Everywhere.
So I haven't had a chance to play it, but I've been watching
Yeah.
streams to try and gauge opinions, and everybody's using it because everybody is like, okay, listen, this is a big buff for it. They removed the initial startup and they increased the firing rate by what is that? Like
Yeah,
that is
that's
30%
crazy.
by increasing it from 10 to
crazy.
13, right?
You just
That's
see
like a
on paper
30%.
That's kind of
Yeah.
nutty.
It's a 30% increase, unless my
it's about
fucking
30%.
my brain doesn't work. But
You're doing great. Your maths are great, friend.
One of my GCSE they could use. But watching people in ranked, I think I was watching Sick, and he was just buying a rifle and everyone else is buying Ares, and people are so dumb with the way they're using it. They are just spamming warbangable angles, and he just wide swings and takes them out because they're just spamming one angle. Like I think you still have to be smart with the way you use it, but no doubt the gun is way better as well. And I mean, they didn't even adjust the price of it. Like how much even is the Ares? I've never bought it.
2.3.
Just never purchased
Yeah, I
the
don't think
Ares.
I've ever bought the
Just
Ares.
legit, just never bought it. Yeah, that is pretty nasty. I mean, if it doesn't get changed, is this about to be like basically
The Stinger.
the Stinger at the beginning of last year, but now we have the Ares at the beginning of this year for this VCT? Is that about to be what happens here? Is it that good, Balla?
No, I don't think so because the Stinger was running gunning. Ares sucks running gunning at anything other than close range.
Mm.
I think this is going to be more a ranked problem, but maybe not. The thing is, you could buy the Ares and legitimately duel with it, right? You could legitimately play as if you're playing with a Phantom or Vandal. Your recovery curve is a lot longer, so you can't like take AD bursts and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
you can swing an angle, take one dude out, and swing back into cover, like that sort of thing. You could 2-tap and all that thing because they removed the spin up, right? So that may be good enough that that's like the de facto eco weapon because it's that cheap as well.
Sure.
But I don't think that it's going to be. Maybe it will, man. It was bad.
Uh-oh. It's happening again.
I think they need to they need to revert this change because ranked is going to be terrible no matter what. Because Wyatt, you were a Spectre guy. You know what that means. I know what it means. It means that you're buying every single round anyways.
Yep.
And
you're
all
goddamn
those guys
right I am.
are going to be buying Ares every single round.
Playing
and it's
Reyna.
going to ruin playing ranked.
I'm not buying Lears. I'm just buying. I'm just saving all my money for Spectres when everyone else has to save. That's how I choose to play the game. And then also the Guardian just got a light little buff. The Guardian, I felt like I was starting to see it come into play a little bit more in recent time. Anyhow,
yeah.
But yeah, a slight little buff with the
I'm on the
firing
tens wave
rate.
with Guardian.
Guardian's kind of nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've been buying it a little bit more. I don't know what this really changes that much. I mean, the ADS is now.
I mean,
there's no more fire rate penalty, and they've added an extra bullet for enters recovery.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't even know what it was before.
Never even really aiming down sight. Anyhow, but I mean that's just a straight up buff, having another shot before the curve. So I mean that's just a straight up buff. So wow, the Bulldog actually got buffed again too.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Scroll on down, Curtis. So the hip fire rate was increased from 9.5 to 10.
Tiny buff.
And the recovery on burst fire from 0.4 to 3.5. I mean, that seems like a pretty solid buff, to be honest. Did the Bulldog need to get buffed more? When it got buffed last time, everybody started using it, and then it kind of faded away a little bit again. I feel like people just forgot that it was kind of decent, or it was just that maybe people initially were using it because they saw it got buffed, but it wasn't as good as they thought it would be. But I thought that it was looking pretty effective, to be honest.
I don't like the Bulldog.
I think the buff is minuscule enough that it's not going to be even more effective. So I was messing around with it. It was fine. It was good. It was the same, to be honest.
Brennon just groans out. I don't like the Bulldog.
No. Don't like it. Don't like it.
It's such an average item in the game. It's just such an average weapon.
Seriously, if I see a Bulldog on the floor,
middling.
See, I clutch up a scenario. I got a Spectre in my hands. My teammate's like, "Oh, there's a Bulldog over there. There's a Bulldog over there." I mute him. I turn off the voice.
You make sure to spend the time to
I turn off the voice.
I
turn off the voice.
You just keep the Spectre.
Yeah.
You're running a gun.
Yeah, I'm keeping a Spectre over the.
Running a gun and hip fire's going crazy now.
I don't know if this is. I don't know if this change would even bring it into viability compared to it. Because like, if you're buying a Bulldog, you probably got enough money to buy a Guardian. Or an Ares at this point. Now, definitely got an Ares.
I mean, you definitely have enough for an Ares. So
yeah,
Ares.
It feels like a weird gun right now, and they're trying to bring it into this, like I said, the cheaper but versatile rifle option. Yeah. But even the burst fire, sometimes I use it. It feels like the first burst can sometimes just be RNG. I can get the first shot on somebody with a Vandal or a Phantom, and I'll end up losing the gun duel. Even when I've got the aim punch on them with the burst fire. This is just me using the gun. I'm bad at the game, so don't listen to me. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to be honest. That's enough of that. That's. I've heard enough about what the guns do. I want to know, what do they look like with these new goddamn skins? Cart, bring up the skin review. This is far more important. It's Protocol 781A.
I don't care about functionality. I just care about appearance. That's what it's all about for me.
What they should have done was launch an Ares skin in the new skin.
That would actually be mega mind.
That would have been the high level marketing. Dude, peep the Phantom.
Whoop.
There we go. Boom. And then the door opens. The smoke. The Phantom. The smoke clears and the Phantom is revealed. Kind of cool. I'm not gonna. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. That's my initial impression. That's my just scathing hot take. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Oh, there's poor people. What the hell? It's just
I like
executing.
the animations for it are cool. I like the it looks like something. What was that one Metal Gear where you're like a cyber ninja? Bren, I feel like you know the answer.
I've never
to this.
played a Metal Gear Solid game.
Well, I don't know, but it looks like something from some sort of cyber dystopian future.
I mean, yeah, Kurt, you can turn down the volume a bit, but but the kill animation is so funny. It's the robot just comes down and just shoots them.
Blast them.
I mean, just eviscerates their corpse. It's
a bit overkill.
It's so BM. It's
like a
very
RoboCop
funny.
Homage. There's like that one scene in RoboCop where like the fucking giant mech thing just destroys some dude. I feel like that had to be inspired by that somewhat.
Yeah, a little bit of that, a little bit of inspiration from Dapper. It's a pretty funny kill animation though. It is pretty funny. What are all the skins in this? There's a Phantom. What else have we got? The Bulldog. Bulldog just got buffed. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Listen, I'm not buying a skin for the Bulldog.
I mean, it looks good.
I mean,
it looks good though. Yeah, it does look good.
God
The
damn.
variants are nice too. The variants are nice. We had this unlocked on the PB. That's
I mean, show the skin variants.
Listen,
the color scheme. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some like Jet Force Gemini shit right here.
Okay.
Actually, is a fire skin set.
Did you just say Jet Force Gemini? Oh my god, that's no one's gonna know that.
I love that game.
You can change the voice on it as well, can you?
I have no clue. I do know it has voice.
Yeah, don't turn it on, but
let's check out the melee.
Okay.
Silence. we need to look at the melee. I mean,
that's actually sick. What the hell?
little animation is kind of. Listen, the little animation is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Kurt,
damn,
you find
that knife's
slinging bodies.
Just brimstone getting stabbed is funny. Look at this.
Ooh, dude, he gets launched.
Yeah, that's such a ridiculous amount of force behind
They get launched by the
Some new melee changes.
Yeah, they actually get launched.
Yeah.
I mean, the knife is kind of cool, but the animation's kind of cool. It's kind of slick. But am I a hater? You guys can be honest.
You are a hater.
Am I a hater if I say that it's just kind of regular? Wait, am I a hater or am I correct, Kurt?
I think it's all right.
Oh.
I think it's pretty cool. I feel like if you could enjoy like some of the holiday skins, you can enjoy this one.
Wait, what are you talking about?
It is
what?
Where I'm looking for the dots that you just connected, and I can't find them.
The dots are I don't find the holiday ones on average that amazing. I don't think these are like that amazing, but they have some cool animations behind it, some cool inspiration. Like I think if you've enjoyed the holiday skins in the past, you can enjoy this skin. That's all I'm saying. I like it's here.
I enjoy it. I like the weapon, or rather, I like the gun skins more than I like the knife skin.
There's no way you guys are comparing the holiday skins to this.
I know this guy's crazy.
What do you mean, you guys?
I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I find them around like similar.
The quality of this skin set is so much higher than any other skin set. Like, not only do you have custom animations when you bring out the guns, but clearly they put a lot of thought into
I don't think that's true though.
The aesthetic of it. Look at the custom animations and tell me that's not true. There's custom animations when you bring out the gun. That's a fact. It's not like it's not an opinion. That's a fact. We just saw it.
I mean, sure.
I don't believe
custom animations.
I don't believe you.
The inspect is cool.
It's a cool set. Like they've clearly put a lot of emphasis in it. It's like
I like the gun. Yeah, it's the military in 2090.
Yeah,
this is what they're going to be using. I think the guns are cool. Not a big fan of the knife. Hold on,
bro. The sheriff looks like someone out of Cyberpunk. I think that looks cool.
Sheriff looks kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that looks good.
I'm not gonna lie, with a little red,
yeah.
You peep the little red line.
What that pops out?
I was gonna clean. I'm not gonna lie.
What else you get in the bundle?
Wait, what else is in the? Yeah, keep going. Do not fail. Oh, dude, Sigma male mindset.
Buy
purchased. Just shows the Plat chat bank information. We get all of our money stolen.
Dude, there's all Plat chat viewers, loyal Plat chat viewers. You just get a barcode. Yeah. It's an NFT.
Buddy. That's an NFT. Yeah, it could be an NFT.
The problem is I don't use the Phantom because I'm not like a little baby. You know what I mean? I use the Vandal because I'm a grown ass fucking man. So I use the Vandal. You know what I'm saying?
You're silly. You're a silly guy today, huh?
Do not fail. That is. Curry,
am I kicking this off? I just can't.
You have to ask her mom for her credit card. We need more
I can't buy the
credits.
skin. I can't use the skin. I get triggered every time I get killed by it today. I got killed by it so many times, and there's just a mech just fucking me again, man. Not again.
It is.
I have
flashbacks to Fortnite.
It's like, nah, I'm again, dude. Like, come on, please.
This
Not
is
a cop.
this is tragic.
It is the Fortnite mech, actually.
It is the Fortnite mech. Oh no. Dude,
It's a
didn't you have a
bro.
chapter about the mech?
The haunting.
Yeah,
What does
does he
Ninja think
have
about
Ninja has
this?
anything about that? Does he have anything about like the sword? The fucking what was that? What was the sword in Fortnite?
Yeah, there was that one tournament where they introduced a sword in the same day.
Yeah.
Please! I just talked about my PTSD. Like, please.
I copped this skin set. On God, seriously.
Honestly, this chapter might help us. It's called Blow Up. Yep.
I like the skins.
Make a little money. Of all the reasons to stream on Twitch, this one is the least important. But
Okay,
chances are, if your metric for success on Twitch is getting rich, you're going to end up being disappointed. Oh, dude.
But that's what he said?
Money. Yeah.
Dude, he's delivering facts, huh?
Dude, how come Ninja's delivering these facts? I want to get rich. I'm not gonna buy these skins.
Everybody knows.
I think they're cool, but I'm not gonna buy them.
You're not gonna buy them?
Nope. I don't use the Phantom. Maybe if it was a Vandal, but I also don't use the Sheriff.
$99.
Is $99?
Oh, dude. See, that's the thing. I don't use the Sheriff. I don't use the Phantom, and I don't use the Bulldog.
Hold on, you're a Vandal player, and you don't use a Sheriff.
No, I like the Ghost.
What?
You're actually crazy.
You're a Vandal player, and you like
people use the Ghost.
No, here's the thing, dude. Actually, the average Sheriff user just like, oh, I got to get a one-tap headshot, versus the Giga Male Ghost user who two-taps everyone in the head.
You're actually cracked in the head. You're using the Ghost over the Sheriff.
No, sometimes I like to subject myself to pure torture, and I play DM with Ghost only. I do that pretty often, actually. I just Ghost only DM. It's actually the ideal training mode. It's because I love pistol DM, and they haven't introduced that.
Yeah.
In fact, they haven't really introduced a great DM mode to the game yet.
I'll tell you what's made it much better.
But
hide the UI in DM.
Hide the UI.
That should be in the Ninja Guide. Seriously, that honestly should be in the Ninja Guide. Hide your UI. Yeah. The only thing that shows up is your crosshair and like the score at the top. You're not even looking at that. Seriously, hides the minimap, hides the UI, hides your health, hides your damage. The only thing you focus on is aim. Actually makes it playable.
Okay. Bren, are you copying this?
Yeah, I've already said I'm copying it.
Balla, are you copying?
Hell no.
Hell no. Avast, are you copying?
My standards are pretty high, so probably not. No.
This is well made.
I've had one skin pack that I've absolutely loved, and it was the comic book one. Like that one I thought was like just next level. Everyone else I think has all been good. I'm not saying that the designers are doing bad work. It's just I have ridiculously high standards to get microtransactions in games. Okay?
Yeah.
My fucking brain forms a psychic connection with my wallet, and it just howls in pain otherwise. No, there's just no way.
I understand. I understand. That's the same thing. Like I think they're really cool, but I can't fork over $99 for these skins.
That is expensive.
That is damn expensive. One of the changes that might be coming in the future of the VALORANT A Child's game is Cascading Agent selection. I've seen a whole lot of talk in the streets about this because everyone's mad because people, not me, I wouldn't do this, but people join games, and I guess there's like a stereotype for some reason about people who instalock Jett or maybe Reyna. I mean, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know who's doing that, but evidently that's happening in a lot of people's games. They've been typing up a storm, talking up a storm. Everybody, they want something different. So this was something that was I'm not sure how far along in the pipeline this is, but it seems like a potential future that there's going to be cascading agent selection. So I could be wrong on this, but my understanding was that meant it would go like one at a time. You would pick your agents, and you could theoretically, now this is fucking, what I'm about to say is crazy, but theoretically, you could talk to your teammates and kind of come to a consensus as to what to play. Now that's crazy, but that seems to be the idea. Now that's a good idea, I think, if we lived in a sort of,
utopia.
That image where that image of like the silver city where it's like
skyscrapers.
Yeah, like
the park is
society. If your teammates discussed what they wanted to play, that's what this would be. But I mean, it feels a little.
People are still going to dodge if they don't get Jett or the duelist, or and it's going to be. I think
this is literally society. Society if your teammates communicated.
I see something different every time. Is that a robot dog? Like, what is he walking?
It's one guy with a robot dog.
We've gone past the need for organic dogs in the future. We only
I've never really looked at the details of this image because you always see it so small on Twitter mobile, but it is a crazy image.
This is probably the universe where those guns come from.
Kurt is killing me.
The new skins.
Fucking Christ.
You can't get any work done when Kurt starts laughing.
None of the cars in the sky. Like, look at this traffic. It's so dense. Like, if there was an accident, everything would just be destroyed.
Well, you would assume everything's on autopilot at this point, so there's no one actually.
Right. Why is everything made out of chrome?
But then there's a car here.
Because it's the future. It's the future. Everything's
Why
got to be
living in a binocular house is the biggest question in the grass.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually don't. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a cool. It could be a cool house potentially, depending. I mean, also, but it is weird because like, is this a yard? Is this like
this guy
Are we talking about
like
the
a
agent?
prosthetic arm, but it like goes all the way down to here for some reason. Why is it like it's fine to have a prosthetic arm, but why is it all the way down here?
I don't.
No, I think
Just
you're being
the future.
tricked by the perspective.
The future
No,
of arms.
he literally has like a bionic arm, like Inspector fucking Gadget.
There's no
that
way.
extends out.
What?
Instead of, and you know how they invented dog leashes that extend. Instead, for some reason, they decided
No way! It is the
opposite.
bionic arm. Wait, I feel like I'm in the Da Vinci Code right now. Like we're doing the Da Vinci Code moment where they're taking the Last Supper and they're just doing restoration to it and seeing different layers and shit. I can't believe it. I've never noticed this before. This is a shocking revelation.
Oh my god. So anyway, that's what society would be like if your teammates had mics, which is what Wyatt are relying on with his shit right here. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Someone is going to get first pick, goes Jett. Second pick goes Neon. Third pick goes Chamber. And then I just disconnect. I leave the lobby.
I don't think it's going to change anything.
It's just, I mean.
I don't think it's going to change anything.
All right, you guys are trolling. This is...
I think this is objectively a good change.
Okay,
right?
Wait. Everyone stop trolling and Balla, give us this is Balla's the real. Give me the real on this topic.
I understand why people are freaking out and they're like, this is not going to do anything. It's going to be stupid. People are just going to dodge. People are going to be toxic. We're going to get people who shouldn't be on Jett playing Jett. But realistically, sure, all that stuff will happen, but it'll still make the game better on average. Like, it just will. You're going to play comps. Sure, the first 2 weeks, people are going to dodge like crazy, but then they're going to want to play the fucking game, right? At a certain point, they're going to want to play the game. And eventually they're going to get used to it. And eventually it'll be fine. And eventually we'll have real comps in the game instead of stupid 5 duelists. I've gotten that like 15 times over the last episode. It's ridiculous. Like how bad some of these comps that people pick are. This will solve that, in my opinion.
Okay. A little confidence from Balla.
I mean, I don't know if it necessarily will solve it, right? Because you could still theoretically, couldn't you still, with Cascading Agent picks, you can still have 5 duelists. It's just you just do them slower. It's just you watch it as you get locked in to the 5 duelists over time.
I think there's going to be a psychological factor at play, though, where when you're the one guy who has to choose, like, I think that people are, if it goes like duelist, and you're like I don't know, like I could literally just use me as an example. Like I like to play duelist, but I'll play like Sova, you know what I mean? I'm not going to then also, when everyone's looking at me to pick an agent and it's my turn, I'm not going to be like, sorry guys, I just really wanted to play Raze, so we're going to have 3 duelists. Like, no, I'll pick Sova, which I can also play. When everyone's when everyone's watching you make your selection, they're all breathing down your neck, and 2 duelists have already been picked. I think there's less of a chance now than that people will pick another duelist if everyone's watching them.
Yeah, honestly. Like the scenario where you get 5 duelists being picked is because 2 people pick duelists, a 3rd person tilt picks a duelist, trying to get somebody to tilt. The 4th picks a Euro. Yeah. And then the 5th is like me, sat there like, oh no. No.
Time to play Astra and just get flattened.
Well, usually at that point, I'm just like, I'm going with the flow and I'm picking a 5th duelist.
Yeah.
Because
at that point,
how many times? Seriously, write a comment in the chat if you've ever been in a ranked game. It boots up, you see the agent select, you see what the enemy team's picked, 5 duelists, your team like, it should be easy. And then you get 13 out.
Yep.
How many times has that happened? Because I swear to God, it's the whimsical buff. You get a short, condensed fucking dose of whimsy in that game if you're on the 5 duelist team, where everybody's just like free. They are free of the shackles that hold you normally down. And
hit of the super soldier serum.
Yeah, and everybody just starts farming. Everybody just farms.
It's true. It does happen pretty often. All right. Yeah. All right.
In high ranks is gonna be interesting. I can't there was a point that somebody, I don't know who, but they're like, oh, Ye's on your team and he's picking last. And I think the example, who was it? Zelsis is on your team and he's first pick. He plays Jett and Ye has to play Astra or some shit like that. I think at high ranks it'll be fucking annoying in terms of that, but for the rest of the game, I think it'll be fine. People actually have to learn how to play other rules. There's not gonna be a duelist who doesn't know how to smoke ever. Like, they actually have to learn.
So annoying. I still don't even have like 5 of the agents.
About the game.
I'm not even kidding. I just play what I like, and that's it. And I bend the world to my will. That's how I like to approach the game. I want to play Reyna on this map. We'll just work around. Everybody work around it. You know what I mean? But fine, I guess I'll learn how to play
I'm the
Cypher.
Sigma Instalock Astra player.
You Instalock Astra?
A lot these days,
This guy's crazy. Yeah. This guy's nuts. Okay. Cascading Agent select the side. There's all types of... Riot have been doing all types of stuff with Valorant this week. Patches, new agents. They dropped a cinematic. And we're going to talk about it.
I'd hope so. They own the IP. So I'd hope they were doing some stuff. With the IP they own.
It would be ideal that their 1-year-old... IP continues to get new content. But yeah, they released this Valorant cinematic, and it was pretty cool. I like it. It was just like, it just had nothing to do with anything other than just, here's the Valorant characters. They're just hanging out and they're fighting a robot together, and there's some little cheeky little moments, and that's it. There's no big story. It's just, here's a cool, fun little video, and I like it.
Yeah, it reminded me of very Marvel-esque. I'm not a big fan of Marvel stuff, but there's nothing wrong with it. There's a reason people like it, you know? It's like the short, quirky little lines. Each character gets a little line, a little comic relief.
Yep.
You get a little bit of the personality shining through with them. Yeah, it was a cool cinematic. I think people were expecting a lot more, but I mean, it's just
this is my favorite cinematic, but it pissed me off. Called warm up, and there's a new a new stage, a new arena, and none of that shit is in the game.
But don't worry, the new agent is going to be Max, and it's a gulag.
Dude,
that's the ult. It's the gulag. You have to 1v1 Max. The new agent is Max. This robot
added it. Both of us, for some reason, they added us on Twitter, being like, "The gulag's here."
It is the gulag. They've literally put in. You cannot say this is not the gulag.
I mean, that would be. such a cool, just like, dude, when they get, if they ever, so okay, so eventually, because there's like whatever, there's the multiverse and there's multiple worlds, however their universe works, the other Killjoy, the evil Killjoy, gets introduced to the game, and that's her ult. Just Gulag, fight Max.
So it's the inverse lockdown, where instead of pushing you out, you can't leave. You're
Yes.
stuck in it. Like,
Oh,
you have
yes.
to fight it there.
If you're, if yeah,
That's actually going to be an ability. Oh God.
Yeah. It's a lockdown, you get stuck in it, and then Max appears and just, you have to fight him.
You have to fight Max. It turns
That would
into a
be
raid
sick.
boss battle. All 10 of you have to work together to be Max. If you beat him, you work together. You both get ranked rating.
Yeah.
You know, something that we didn't cover, by the way, in the patch
Oh.
notes that I find relatively interesting is that they
Okay.
are changing the threshold, like the limit you have to have in terms of like, and in terms of like when you get to access ranked and play competitive.
Yeah.
Because before, you know, it used to was like win 10 unrated games, I believe, was the
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
now you have to be level 20 to count. There's
On
no
top
like
of winning the 10 games.
No, I don't think it's on top of it, right?
It is.
I think it's just
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
on top.
Really?
It's on top of it? Wow,
Yeah.
that's like pretty strict, honestly. I feel like
That
that's
is-
like pretty significant.
That is a hefty toll of time to pay if you're
I
trying
mean, imagine.
to
I feel like
smurf.
that's gonna make smurfing less attractive to those that have to put in like 20 hours of gameplay to.
They also
smurf.
changed the way 5-stacking works. Like they're making adjustments again in a patch. We brushed over it, but
Mhm.
that was it's a lot of compounding things that are changing to make people smurf less. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
One of the main reasons is you want to play with your friends, and now they're making it so that you don't lose as much. You don't have as much as that. What is it? The ranked rating reduction that you get when you 5-stack. They're reducing that, I think, as well. I think the minimum of it is now 25% or something. I don't know how the numbers work, but they're trying to change it around so that people smurf less. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Video. I mean, also, is this just going to be the first in a series of videos where it's like they're here and then they leave to go on the mission at the end, and then the next one they're on the mission? Is that how this is going to go? I mean, presumably, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm down for more lore. I'm a casual lore enjoyer, so
Lore always is. There's no downside to lore necessarily. There's always a group of people that will love it, and my brain's been rotted. So anytime I think of lore, I just immediately, by word association, the emote bat chest comes up just because my brain's been rotted, like to its core, like an apple. But it's just
I'm worried about Connor.
It's it legitimately, it's a good thing to have. I think it's cool to like have a stronger universe, because especially because Riot's done a great job in general. I think as years gone on of just adding more to their IP outside of just games. So it's cool to have something more to like work with.
Yeah, for sure. All right, now on to the esports news, competitive happenings. Who's going to what team? I'll tell you. It's 7 from 100 Thieves. Now on T1. T1 no longer fielding Skadoodle and Automatic. Automatic off on an adventure back to CS or something like that. It seems, at least that's the word on the streets. Skadoodle doing, I don't even know. I have no idea. Skadoodle is just he's just, I don't know. He's more than a man. He's just a mysterious figure that we all know is America's hope from many years ago in CS, and now he's just does what he wants. I'm not sure what Skadoodle's up to, but T1 have gone ahead and signed 7, who was on the 100 Thieves roster as a sub. They signed him months ago. I remember when I interviewed Hiko at LCQ. There's a video of that on the Plat Chat Clips channel, and I had asked him about getting 7 and what the plans were for the future. And from the way he had framed it then, it was super up in the air. There wasn't really anything set. And they just never ended up doing anything with 7. And now they have just sent him over to T1. Just a young upcoming player, upcoming duelist, going to be in the Steel in-game leader system over on T1. So what do you guys make of this move? What do you guys really just make of T1 at the moment with all these roster changes?
What is their current roster now? It's like Steel, 7,
Curry, and
Curry.
7. I don't know who the
Yeah.
last is.
They're still waiting on a fifth, right?
Okay.
Because
Yeah, I think so.
it's those 4. So they're still waiting on a fifth. But
It's a very interesting roster, all things considered. I mean, who really knows at this point, since like we haven't seen 7 compete in a while, what is even going to be happening with that, right? So I am a little disappointed with Skadoodle though, because I feel like Skadoodle was at least when it comes to Valorant at points, it might just be my own personal feelings on it. What felt like an inverse Brax, where like Brax was just like kind of fell off kind of early on at times, but was incredibly hyped, while Skadoodle didn't get as much hype, but actually was pretty good, I think, throughout his entire tenure when he still got to play, and T1 was like still like in tournaments competing. So I'm a little disappointed that Skadoodle is no longer on the roster, but hopefully he finds
I'm
a
not.
new home. You're not. I mean, what?
No.
Just because you're happy that he could go somewhere else and be free?
Well, there's the kind of era of CS players transferring over was like during 2020, and towards the end of 2020, we kind of saw the difference between those players as they started to fall off if they weren't committed properly into the game. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're bringing all the baggage, I don't know what the hell was going on with that team with T1. That team has, I mean, potentially still has all these issues when it comes to managing their rosters. But
I would assume not, because
hope
it's
not.
so different. I think you could see a massive shift when before the I believe it was before the Berlin qualifier that they had made some big moves, and it was like David Denis is taking over the team, and he's like the leader of the team, figurehead of the team, that kind of thing. And Curry was going to be the in-game leader after that point. And since then, with that run they had then, I think things made sense, and you could start to see a clearer structure in the team, both how they outlined it in game, but also just actually from the management of the team.
I never got the feeling of like hunger that you get from watching some pro players and a drive to improve that I got from a lot of the T1 core. And so I've always felt like they kind of, because of the contracts or whatever, they kind of were in a situation where they're holding on to all of these old school players. And I want to see the new talent come up. I want to see the new talent develop. There's already very good talent in the scene. Players like Seven as well, you know, who just kind of, I guess, was just sitting on the bench. I imagine Steel probably had something to do as well with Seven being picked up.
It has to be, because the 100 Thieves are now T1.
Exactly, yeah. So, I'm just excited for T1, a franchise and org in the scene, to now be investing into talent that are committed into Valorant. Not to say that Skadoodle and the rest weren't committed, but I just get the feeling that, you know, the talent are out there if you just open your eyes. They have the money. They have the money to hire good structure. They have the money to hire any player really they want, get any player they want, in theory.
Yeah.
Because they got big backing behind them. But I just never saw the. I felt like a waste of potential.
The problem with T1 in the past for me was always that they felt like they were trying to recreate something from the past more than create something new in Valorant. And I think that's been kind of the key for not only transitioning CS players to Valorant, but also just making a good team in general, right? Sentinels was a mix of different, like it was CS, Overwatch, and Apex. Like all that different stuff made it at least something new enough that you could strive for something. If it was like the old, like obviously the old T1 roster was pretty much all iBuyPower. That wasn't necessary. I mean, obviously it was cool, it was fun, it was nice to have for a while, but either way, I think them having I think it changes the way that I look at this completely. At first, when Steel joined T1, I was like, "Oh, whatever." Like, he's joining with people that like I don't really feel like he has a good connection with. And now it feels like there's literally a blueprint. Steel is developing young players into, and that's something he's done. He's proven that he can do that over and over again. Now he has Thlyfo to teach. He has Curry to mold into a fantastic IGL. He has Seven who can actually be a star. That is something really good. I think all the pieces make sense now with Steel, whereas before it didn't really make sense. You could see the plan coming together.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely agree. I think the team's heading in a really good direction. I think both of you make some very good and true points, and I'm excited to see, because I was excited with T1, and I was in that time period that I was talking about around Berlin, when it was like David Denis was taking over and Curry was the IGL, and it seemed like they finally had a structure and a direction. And I'm excited to see where that's headed now with those guys making some of the decisions and, David continuing to lead the team from the coach role and then managed to get Steele in the offseason and then put all these young, talented players around him for him to assist and develop. Yeah, like you said, Ball, they have a blueprint. There's clearly something there. I think it's definitely something to get excited about. It's pretty cool. It's just I'll just see who their fifth player is.
One thing about this is about 100 Thieves more so than anything. I'm really disappointed that they weren't able to do anything with 7. Maybe it was still spearheading that entire idea, but he could have fit on this team. He could have fit on this team perfectly, right? They're looking for a Jett. Asuna is not necessarily. Well, I don't know what they're going to do, but it looks like he probably is going to be staying in that primary Jett role, primary duelist role. 7 could have fit in this team. How do they just let him go?
I don't know.
It doesn't even sound like they sold him or anything like that. It's what was the plan the entire time? Just doesn't really make sense. They broke up Teal's team specifically to do nothing with it. That sort of stuff just doesn't fly with me.
Yeah, it is very odd. I mean, I don't know if we want to talk about 100 Thieves, the rumored roster, the rumors that continue to come out, the reports, that kind of thing. We could if we want, or we could just wait until it's officially announced. Any quick thoughts? Do you guys want to touch on it?
To wait, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm fine to wait. I mean,
we can wait until it's official. Just wanted to ask since we were talking about 100 Thieves a little bit, but we'll wait until there's something official. Still nothing from the 100 Thieves camp in this offseason. Gonna head over to Korea for the next topic though, because it's about Vision Strikers and it's about Lakia, who is just finally has the ability to play Valorant. I mean, yeah, the question presented on screen as the topic is the one that I just want to up front. Just did Vision Strikers waste Lakia this past year?
Yeah, I mean it's obvious, right?
I mean it's considering he played on average one map each tournament.
Yeah. I mean, that maybe more interesting. Looking back on it, do you think if they played with Lakia in their 5 instead of one of the other players, would that have made a significant difference?
That's the better question. I think not, personally. I know a lot of people are Lakia fans, but I don't think that it would have made a difference. So here's the thing that how I'm forming this is Vision Strikers, sure, they wasted Lakia, but did they make a good move by wasting him? Is the question, because Korea would have been a lot harder potentially at that time. I don't think Vision Strikers would have been any better with Lakia. I'm not that high on Lakia as a player from Reykjavik and watching those 2 games that we've seen him. Obviously, he's not in an ideal situation, so I don't want to draw too much for those 2 games, but I think he was way overhyped at Reykjavik.
Okay. What do you think, Bren?
I feel like Vision Strikers initially picked him up to weaken Newturn, but this is my conspiracy tinfoil brain at work.
Yeah.
Where it's not
anymore. To me, that's obvious as fuck.
And I feel sorry for Lakia because there's nothing worse than at the early signs of your career in an esport, just sitting on the bench, wasting away. I think there's nothing more detrimental than that. You can be getting the bag and be getting paid, but it's so hard to sometimes, I mean, I just know from, not experience, but know from the past in esports titles where players will do this because they get a really good offer. They'll be on the bench, they'll be riding the bench, but nobody knows what you're capable of recently because you haven't played that much, and then your career kind of gets squandered in a way. So yeah, I mean, they did waste him. Was there probably some side objective where they were weakening the other best team in Korea at the time by doing so? Probably, I think. But I hope that, I don't know. I just hope that Lakia finds a team. I hope that he has success in 2022. Because I don't know if he's overrated. Like you were saying, Balla, I don't know about him being overrated because there's just not enough to go off of, but he was definitely good at the time off of Reykjavik. We just haven't seen enough since then because there just hasn't been any matches.
I really liked Lakia before Reykjavik. I thought he was a solid player. I don't think he was the best player on Newturn.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like the community sentiment afterwards definitely overrated him. I don't think he was bad at all. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Just not enough to have actually affected the results that Vision Strikers had at later tournaments. I think that's fair. So what do we want to see for Lakia now? Just find another team in Korea.
Was he
Any
IGLing for
international hope? No.
No, that was.
No,
No,
it was Perry, wasn't it?
Solo.
Oh,
Solo.
Solo. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was Solo. Yeah. I want him to find another team, and I also want to see him on other agents specifically. I want to see like him playing Sky and stuff like that. Like, hopefully, I want to see like if he has a larger agent pool, because if his agent pool is much
He
bigger,
was
I feel
playing
like
Sky,
He
wasn't
was
he?
playing Sky at Berlin, yeah. Or
Yeah.
Massive Berlin.
was he? I thought. Yeah, you're right.
He did
Actually,
play
yeah.
it
just
for
because
one
the-
map where they got
He only played it for one
bodied.
map. And then
Yeah.
I keep on remembering like RB played a lot of Sky for them anyways. But like, yeah, I think I just want to see him get consistent play time then in that case.
Yeah, the big issue for me is like in Valorant, there's a big culture difference in terms of managing rosters, esports rosters between Asia and the Western teams. And I'm about to make a speech.
This is the award.
Gonna go up to the podium
Do you
and
wanna
make
go to
this
the podium?
speech and start. Is it still
The
set
most
up?
wasted player.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
that would be
Dude.
pretty funny if you just went in there.
Just
Though.
went up there and started spitting.
Yeah.
But there is, I think, there's this cultural difference where the Asian teams like to build these big rosters with sub players, and the concept of like mixing and matching and not sticking with a core 5, which I think just comes culturally, where the idea of putting the team first before the player is so strong there, where players are they're not afraid to sit on a bench, because when the team wins, they win. You know, that kind of culture is put forward.
Did you read
first.
that Ninja's book?
I did not, but
okay.
maybe it's a chapter in
That was a bar.
the old gaming
Getting
Bible.
some bars off. Keep
Just
going.
spitting real quick. But in the West, it's a lot more individual focused, especially in NA, I think, as well. Like if some players in NA, they see being benched as like the death of their career, which it is to an extent, because the chemistry of having 5 people together is so much more important. But yeah, I want to see for the future, just as a wider macro note, is that all these teams move away from these 6-7 man rosters and just stick to core 5s, because you're not at the state in the game yet where you have the coaching structure to manage large rosters like this and make intelligent decisions, I think, with the subs, enough so that it would give you the edge compared to running a core 5 players that know how they play inside and out, they know their chemistry and everything else. I think it holds a lot of these teams back that they don't do this. The scene might get to that point in the future, but it's not there right now, in my opinion. So that's just a wider point on this Lakia stuff, because
Sure.
it brought it up in my head.
Go off. So, all right. We're going to head over to EU for a couple more roster moves in the pro news segment. Guild. They've got a new roster. Are they going to do things this year? Are Guild going to guild it up in 2022 and just kind of be a gatekeeper team for like that top 8-ish kind of spot in EU? Or will this roster be enough for them to actually compete in the like tier 1 of EU, potentially, or maybe even be good enough to just get to some of these lands? Are they going to be that good? Honestly, I think on paper, I like this roster. I think it's pretty nice. Bringing in Cole Dementa as the in-game leader is interesting. After the G2 team is just disbanded, not fully disbanded, but they've made changes at the end of the year. And then bringing in Russ and Trex from 2 lower tier teams. Trex was kind of I can't think of what is the team that Trex was on, but he was feasting on Duelist for them. He was really popping off for them. So that was a pretty cool little pickup. I mean, this looks like a good roster to me on paper. I think another opportunity with a different team and some new pieces to have Cole Dementa IGL is interesting. And I think Leo and Safe proved over the entirety of last year. I think Leo a lot, especially at the tail end of last year, proved that he's certainly a top echelon player. But how are you guys feeling about it?
I haven't seen the games yet because they played like 5 matches today.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them were broadcast. And they play against the team that beat Giants, I think, when this is airing. So tomorrow for us, but yeah, when this is airing, they're playing against the team that beat Giants in the round of 32. Anonimo Esports.
Oh.
Yeah. Rolls off the tongue.
Very cool.
But early to tell, they were playing they're playing a lot of Leo KO. I noticed when I was just skimming over it, which is intriguing, but it's too early to tell if it's an improvement. The one thing I do know is that if you do want to foster any sort of improvement, you need to make yourselves uncomfortable. You need change, you know? And it was pretty clear that the ceiling was reached with Guild, I think, in terms of being that top 4 team.
Yeah.
Like, top 4 in EU, still really, really good, but... yeah, hopefully it ends up working out for them. I mean, early days yet, but looking at the results, they seem to be doing pretty well.
The roles are a little interesting that they have Safe playing primarily Jett and Duelists for them instead of Trex. I think that's interesting, so we'll see how that plays out. That was one of the problems that was plaguing Guild last year, was the lack of Jett player. But, I mean, if Safe picks it up and is really good at it, and Trex is fine just switching to a new role and is comfortable there, then by all means, but it's just a matter of that actually working.
They've been doing better than Heretics in the open quals so far, so it's been good. It's been good. I think it's been a decent swap, and I'm actually really happy to see Russ get a
Heretics' roster is not like
no. I mean, it's I wouldn't. It's more so just funny, but yeah, it's not really. They also lost against a pretty good team, so it's not like Heretics are doing that badly. I'm excited to see Russ. I think get more time in like the main EMEA stage too, potentially. I think it'll be cool to see like how we can develop outside of Turkey.
Oh, this isn't the Turkish Russ.
Oh, is this not the Turkish Russ?
No, there's a different Russ. There's 2 Russes, man.
Yeah.
I
got confused by this shit as well.
I got really confused. I was like, oh, that's super cool.
The other Russ is on Giants, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah, Turkish Russ is on Giants. Well,
so I mixed up the Russness.
Everybody's made this mistake.
Yeah.
Everybody's made this mistake with Russ and Russ. Dude, if you put both Russes on one team, what the fuck?
What do the casters do, dude?
This is Tenstar Russ.
Yeah, this is Tenstar Russ.
Okay,
both Russes are quite good. Both Russes, very talented, very powerful Valorant players named Russ.
It was the Turkish Russ. But yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, well, either way, I mean, still happy to see this Russ develop because he looked pretty good on Tenstar. So, you know, it's see where they go from there. I think it's just this is just giving Josh too many chances to start up a Guild Copium session, though. Again, the Guild Copium rebuild.
Yeah, it could be, but I do think this roster is pretty good. I think this team is going to be pretty nice this year.
Leo and Safe just by themselves make a good roster. I think though that Russ is going to be the linchpin of this team because he's put in a very interesting position, right? Where Safe too. Safe was playing a lot of Sentinel last year, right? And now Russ is going to be the guy who plays that role for the most part, and he hasn't really done that in the past, or I don't think he has. So that's a new thing for him. He was playing a lot of Cypher, and hasn't been that impressive. I watched a little bit of their games, and it's been stomped, so you can't really take too much from it. But that's a part where I think is going to be important. Maybe it's not as important for everybody in terms of roles in the meta right now, but I still think that when you're putting somebody in that position, you're trying to make them comfortable. I think he's going to be the important factor here for Guild.
Yeah, for sure. For a second there, it looked like Avast just had an absolutely massive chin. You looked like the Crimson Chin for a second there. Well, when the camera's going fuzzy, I just saw...
This camera goes wild like all the time, and I don't know why because it's a perfectly good camera.
Probably... No. I can explain to you real quick. It's just something that I'm using, and it's going to get fixed with the next OBS update, which is coming out sooner than later.
So. Well, I mean, it's fine. It's just going dumb stupid.
Enjoy the moments while they last.
Dude, we're gonna lose
I will
the
not
Shadow
have a
Realm.
crimson chin for much longer.
You're ruining it, just like wide people killjoys.
They're removing white people killjoys. We didn't talk about that.
Sad. No, we didn't talk about
that.
Patch
4.01.
We didn't talk about it because I didn't want to cry on the podcast. So sad. Doma has joined Tenstar though in place of Russ, who's no longer with them. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I rate Doma as a player.
Josh isn't here, so no one's gonna just coom over Tenstar. Yeah, I mean, so I mean, what do you guys think?
I just need to watch a lot of these EU qualifier matches at least. I was planning on watching some of them when it gets to the top 16 to actually see what some of the teams that are actually shaking up to look good. But I mean, I'll just repeat what I said on the last time we were talking about Doma when he was a free agent, is that I think there's incredible value you get out of a player like Doma, where he is willing to play multiple roles. I think he said in his tweet when he was looking for a team that he's willing to learn new stuff. That kind of player with that drive to improve is so valuable and so underrated across the board, because you never know which direction the game of Valorant is going to be switching up to, in terms of when agents get released or what your team needs to play. Having that kind of player who's willing to put the team first is just it's very good. And Doma is a good player. He's not an elite of the elites, but I think that kind of mentality can also just command something when it comes to just him as a player.
Yeah, I think he could be. He could be really good. I mean, you see the peaks in some of those clips, for example,
sure.
but
yeah,
just the amount of experience he has now, and just the way that he plays and his personality, I think he could end up being a super beast. But this team, I think, was good at the end of last year. I think these changes make them really good. You said Josh ain't here, but I'm a big fan of XMS.
Yeah.
Who's now on the team as well, and I've loved him. I've loved watching him in CS and now in Valorant as well. So this team could be really good with Doma.
All right.
Pretty solid all around. I mean, I don't see any point where you can look at this team and be like, okay, they've necessarily left a gap in this roster anywhere. So it's looking bright for Tenstar, which was also, I remember one point we were memeing about like, oh, look at the best teams in EU. And like we had all these teams like that were like really not juggernauts. Like earlier in the year, we had like Tenstar and Giants and stuff. But actually, they're very potentially going to become staples for EMEA moving forward.
Well, they have the invite to the close qualifier.
That's true.
We shall see. But listen, I hate to say it. EU can make as many roster moves as they want. They could get CNED on Gambit instead of Defo. Dude, any and all possible EU roster moves pale in comparison to the fact that Tarik has departed EG. It's happening. Tarik.
What was he doing on EG?
Streaming.
He's a CS player.
It's just but he's just a streamer, right?
I mean, since he retired from CS. Yeah.
I know Tarik's a good player from CS from when I used to follow it. Like, yeah, he was. But the way I saw his career going was more like
it was so loud
going into streaming.
Yeah.
Are people like gassing up, thinking he's raring up to join a pro team?
Well, NA fans are getting gassed up. EU fans are just crying and pissing that he might join 100 Thieves and just rock their world in the 2022 circuit.
You're joining, dude. The 100 Thieves fans have been on one actually this off season. Just
the 100 Thieves fans have been. They have been. The lack of news. It's just what's happened. What's happened?
When seven left 100 Thieves. The comments were like, "This severely hurts 100 Thieves' chance of picking up 7." It's like they have lost the plot, and I don't blame them because
it's rough.
Anyway,
it's rough being a 100 Thieves fan.
You know who I haven't seen much lately?
AZK.
Fucking TS.
Yeah, haven't seen AZK much. That's true. He's not wrong.
Haven't seen AZK in a while.
Not wrong.
Those TSM fans is what I was gonna say.
The TSM fans, they've gone into. It's like when you don't eat for a really long time and your metabolism goes into hibernation. That's what they're doing. All TSM fans, they've burrowed beneath the earth like cicadas, and they're ready to emerge when finally TSM news.
The TSM series start at the end of the year.
The TSM fans should be content though. They got Corey, they got Rossi. They're chilling. I think that the TSM fans should be satisfied with those moves. 100 Thieves have just nothing. The 100 Thieves fans are just searching for any level of satisfaction whatsoever. But they'll get a win Tarik and AZK joint.
Oh, he just wrecked that lens.
That's impressive. What the hell? He wrote that backwards?
Crazy. That's crazy. Or do you think he wrote it forwards and they just used some technology to help him out?
Maybe.
Can you wash that off? Did he just break a lens? And
it definitely wasn't a lens because it would have had
Oh, you did it
curve
over
to
the
it.
top.
Broke a
Yeah.
$30,000 lens.
Yeah, just
Writing on it in
Sharpie on the back.
Sharpie.
Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, that's all for the roster moves this week. And then we got 2 more weeks. It's 2 more weeks until the NA circuit starts, and I can watch good gameplay.
Well, the Knights tournament starts this week.
Oh yeah, there's the Knights tournament.
Also, when are we
There
going
are
to
some
the?
decent teams in that.
Are we
aren't
going
there?
to
I
the
saw,
Denver
like,
LAN?
LG. What?
Are we going to the Denver LAN?
No,
Inverland.
Are we
The
trying to
what?
compete?
no. Wait. What's the prize pool?
I don't know. What is it, like 10K? But I don't think it. I don't,
$200.
Listen, I don't think
and 5
okay,
Arby's gift
yeah.
cards.
listen, I think it's like there's no good teams going. We can mop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
Honestly,
for sure.
I believe it.
We can mop up.
I honestly, I believe it. But yeah, there's probably going to be a whole lot of roster moves in the next 2 weeks, right? I mean, or just all the announcements, all the things that have been stewing behind the scenes are going to get revealed.
I hate to take you back to EU, but did you see the rumor of Doma's buyout?
No.
80 to 120K, something like that.
Significant. Pretty
Yeah,
significant.
that's a lot. The Tenstar just dropped on Doma. That's a lot. New Mercedes
Curious before that.
GT
Let me-
on that
let me
boy.
check it out.
Get to get Doma
just-
for that roster.
That
That's
is
crazy.
significantly less than the rumors from NA, though, in terms of.
Well, yeah, but I feel like
yeah.
that makes sense market-wise, though, because like,
God,
also, why am I
Connor
getting
is literally
dominated?
turning into
I'm getting
Two-Face.
dominated by this camera. I've been washed out.
80 to 120K.
Yeah, that's.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
it makes sense. It correlates with the decisions that NA orgs that look into EU talent for buyouts. You know. So,
Yup.
yeah.
Yep. Damn right. All right. It's time for the weekly award. Roll that tape, Kurt.
Well, you've seen this trophy before. Wyatt's Weekly Award. But who's getting it this time?
Now, everybody knows, okay? Everybody knows that this week Josh proposed and Josh is getting married, and it's very cute and it's great, and we're all very happy for Josh and Beth. It's an amazing thing. It's so cool. Kurt, matter of fact, pull it up. There's some tweets. It's very cute, and we're all. It's amazing. It's so amazing. It's amazing, and we're all guys. We're all very happy for them, right?
Yes.
Congrats. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Uh-huh.
Matter of fact, if you're a commenter, drop in the comments. Congratulations, Josh and Beth.
Dude, I just
Like
gone
on.
funny again.
It's fine.
I've gone funny again. But
So everybody knows, and that's really cool. But Josh has won the award twice already, and
When did Josh win the award previously?
now he won it for hitting Immortal, and he also won it when he saved that lobster
Crawfish.
downtown.
oh yeah, the drunken lobster.
When he
That's
saved
great.
that
The
lobster
crawfish.
in
Wait, it's a
downtown
lobster?
Austin.
I thought
Well,
it was
it's
a
a crawfish.
Or a
It was a
crawfish,
crawfish.
right,
It
a
was a
crawfish.
crawfish.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
just,
big.
you know, it's a
A
shellfish.
crawfish. Yeah,
Shellfish.
when he saved the crawfish in downtown Austin. So he's won 2 awards, and honestly, it would just be bullshit if he won 3, and if he won 1 for getting Immortal and you didn't. So Bren, you're winning the weekly award this week for making it to Immortal, and for being not just making it to Immortal, but honestly, I think that Bren, you have become a symbol to the blue collar working class Valorant
Got
grinder.
my jacket on.
Just paint stains, hard day at work in the servers, grinding.
Okay, have you seen my montage?
You have a montage?
The
Dude,
Sigma
play it
Male
muted because it's
montage-
DMCA.
The Sigma Male montage is really good.
I mean, it's on my Twitter.
You got a montage?
Yeah.
Is it
No,
that?
There it
Sigma
is.
Male no, he's
You just scroll past it.
up,
It's
up.
streamable.
It's great.
Dude,
That-
firstly,
No, not
thank you very
Breath of
much.
the Wild.
This is Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
It's just
so that's not
dodging
it.
No,
It's that.
This one. There
Oh.
we
you
go.
got make sure it's muted because I think the
Okay.
music's DMCA,
It's very DMCA.
but it's the Sigma Male music.
I mean,
yeah, it loses some impact without the music.
It definitely does. But
no, this is for all the people that are like, you did this for everyone that says like gold is elo hell.
dude, I was
And
hard
for all
stuck
those
gold.
people- Yeah, you were hard.
I was
mean,
hard stuck gold. That was the
I mean,
clip
this
that
clip.
got played on this episode. I got
Yep.
roasted.
Yep.
I was hard stuck gold
Dude, now
in
look at him.
Act 1, Episode 3.
He's the fucking Terminator now.
I'm literally, this is the KO announcement video. And then there's just imagine the Sigma male music going overlapping with the lone wolf.
Look at this
coming in. You know what I mean?
I've seen this clip before. Unbelievable.
And then there he is.
It's that guy. No
Wait,
way.
did you win that round?
Kyriakos
You didn't win that round.
Dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr. Grizzly.
but you have given a hope to everyone that feels like they're in gold and can't get out.
I
To
played.
the person grinding all day that's like, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I bought Ninja's book. What do I do?
I played too much Valorant.
You did it for them.
I played way too much Valorant.
You've become a
But yeah.
symbol.
I'm quite
Dark
proud.
Knight.
I'm quite proud of this, which is weird because it feels weird to be proud of achieving a rank in a video game. But I've always been bad at games, so
Shutterstock.
I'm quite pleased to have.
It's
Just
definitely an accomplishment, I think.
Oh
because,
my-
like, you know,
can't do that with
especially if you've
newspaper.
never
You
been a
can't do
high
that.
rank at something before, I think that's like huge. Like
Yeah.
really huge. And it's not like
This
it's not like an
You know, I inserted this one as a bit of symbolism. You know, I'm climbing in between. It's a bit of symbolism. I'm climbing up the rankings.
Wow.
The final clip is nasty. I don't know. I mean, this is also a
Is this
nasty
the final
clip,
clip?
but no.
Oh.
No.
Is this the final
No,
clip?
no.
Oh.
Just a little pred from me there.
Is this
That-
the final
that's- No,
clip?
that's the astronaut. You know, I'm extending humanity forwards with my accomplishments. This is not the final. Sorry, this is really long.
Is this not the-
I had to fit the song, and the song was
That's
2
fine.
minutes
That's
40
fine.
seconds.
Listen, we're extending. The longer this episode goes, the more just
Here it is.
cha-ching, just cash register sound effect.
This is it. It's even better with the audio because my teammates are talking to me. I don't know if you can even. My teammates are like, "Calm down. You got 20 seconds. It's an opera.
This is
The
your
heartbeat.
ranking,
heartbeat.
no?
It's pumping.
The hardest.
1v1. Clutches it out.
Wow.
Let's
Did you end up winning that
go.
game?
Yeah, we won that game.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Was that your rank up?
Yep. No, that wasn't the rank up game. That was it. But that was a little
That was on
comeback
the
game.
road.
Dude, I have been
I-
trapped in a
Well,
blizzard
rank
for
up, let's go.
eons. On
The
this camera.
haters are
Something
in
is- something's
shambles.
wrong
Yeah.
today.
Thank you.
Like,
I appreciate that.
Wait,
It's your
that's-
internet,
I mean-
Avast. You have crazy packet loss.
We have 3 immortals now on the show, which means we can almost compete in VCT. What's up, guys? Wyatt, Avast?
I know.
I know.
How much do you need to
I
compete
gotta
for VCT?
play ranked.
All 5
Bullshit.
have to be immortal.
Really?
I gotta
Yeah.
win. How much do you get for? Can you get 20? You can get 20 plus for a win, right? I need
Yeah,
to win
20.
5. I just need to get on and win 5 games in a row, and I'm in a more.
Well, no,
Do it.
because the ranks are
This is
reset,
what the
but that's fine.
placements.
Oh, the ranks reset
Because
Yeah.
new episode.
today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, into
Oh, that's
Huh.
bullshit.
Just scouring through Ninja's guide.
Yeah, cultivate a winning mindset. That's what you
on
did.
God.
I mean, that's actually.
people are gonna be asking.
Yeah.
What was the number one thing that you changed? And it's literally just jumping into the next rank game.
Yep.
Like if you lose, fuck it, just jump into the next rank game. Your teammates are always gonna hold you back, but that doesn't mean you need to insta-lock Jett. Just fill, be positive, don't tilt, and jump
Yep.
into the next rank game and focus on improvement rather than the medal.
God damn, speaking facts.
And that's literally all I did.
Smart goal
You
setting.
know what insta-locking is? I'm glad cascading solves this, but insta-locking is admission. It's an admission that you're tilted already.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
If you're tilted,
what
you
it
shouldn't be
is.
playing the game.
That you're tilted already.
I am. That's
Oh
my
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 I can't wait for
grind.
Bren to release his book alongside Ninja, and then we're gonna build a library of every person's gaming self-help
This
book.
This is honestly, it's a really well-made book.
Yeah, a lot of pictures.
I like the pictures. There's a lot of
This
pictures.
is good,
How much
because
did you
I
buy it
can't
for?
read.
I don't know. I forget how they price books at the Goodwill bins, but this had to have been like 25 cents. Maybe less.
That's cheap.
Somebody
Don't-
donated that.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah, dude, that's my. Hey, listen.
Someone-
Kurt found it. Kurt's coming.
Someone was a fan of Ninja, and Ninja did something that they didn't like.
Maybe he was the guy
Now
that
they're a
he suddenly
Tfue fan.
told
He
that
stopped
on
playing
Twitter he was
Fortnite.
gonna
Yep.
buy his
Figured it
house or
out.
something from his parents. Maybe that's the guy. He just
My
got rid of that book after
gaming
that.
lair.
Buy the bank. And
Yeah, he's gonna buy the
foreclose.
bank and then foreclose on his house. Maybe it was that fan that got rid of the book after that.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, unless there's some kind of breaking news. Kurt, any breaking news? Any news? I just really want to be able to use the new pop-up.
I can just do it.
Okay.
Just to get the little dopamine hit.
Actually.
Wait. There is breaking news.
There is breaking news. There is legitimately breaking news with T1. With T1 right now,
What?
What?
they just announced their newest signing.
Really?
Yeah. Pony. EWNY.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that player.
There, Kurt, bring up the VLR page.
Put it in our chat as well, Kurt.
Kurt, bring up the page. What do I have about this?
What does the book say?
What does the book? Whoa, actually, good. I just switched to what makes a good teammate. How to build a good team. The essence of a good team, like any good system, is that it's more than the sum of its parts. Which, honestly, this T1 roster looks like it very well may be. Steele at the helm. David Denis, the psychological figurehead. You know what I mean?
Did that player just blow themselves over the raise Wyatt?
What?
Psychological figurehead. I don't.
Yeah.
That's like not even. That doesn't even sound real. The figurehead is also not good. It's just someone that's there that doesn't do anything. That's just like the face.
I mean,
is that what the book said?
you guys know what I meant, though, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's like managing the mentality.
He's managing He's the figurehead, and he also manages the minds of the team.
The mental manager.
Yeah, you guys know. You know what I was talking about. But honestly, I think, dude, the psychological figurehead sounded way cooler in the moment. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you want, do you want to pull up the VLR page, Kurt, for Pony, and then we can talk about that a little bit, and then send this sucker home. I got places to be.
You got places to be?
I got $1 trillion meetings later.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm in the mood to play Valorant.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
I'm in the mood to play Valorant. I said I wasn't gonna play at all until
crazy.
I beat Breath of the Wild, but yeah.
Yep.
You have an addiction.
But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't have a whole lot to say about Pony. I'm not ultra familiar with them as a player. But at the moment, I would say that I do have some faith and trust in the T1 system and how they've been putting this team together and scouting players. And the players so far that they've surrounded Steele with have all been good. Not super familiar with Pony personally, but I would trust that if they went with him, it's because he fits exactly what they need him to fit. Whatever.
It's just a Steele classic. Gonna build up
dude, you're becoming the Hulk.
The Green Goblin.
It's been happening. So this is the worst it's ever been. My camera is going ape shit. I have to.
Yeah, it's probably the internet.
Yeah, someone's uploading an entire server's worth of content.
Yeah. I need to get an Ethernet cable. I have a hookup.
Oh, you're on Wi-Fi?
I'm on Wi-Fi.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well,
yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
We're high tech here at the Misfits office.
You know, there is a section in the book about gear. If we want
gear,
yeah. I mean, it's chapter 1 is gear up. So
what is it? Step 1: find your local dealer.
Mice, keyboards, and headsets. Keyboards at a glance. Dude, this book's got it all.
We have spent so much time on the Ninja book.
The Ninja book is actually
away.
The Ninja book has some good tips here. Like this, honestly, the stuff at the beginning for gear and like that could honestly help a lot of people that are really new to this. Dude, I'm a big fan of the Ninja book.
You're selling Ninja's book for him. He's already a cajillionaire, and you're selling his book.
He could buy the bank and sell the house or whatever the fuck he said. All right, dude, I'm done with this episode.
I'm ready to
put up the graphics and make sure to comment in the comments to congratulate Josh and Beth, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Are we done?
Are we off? I don't know. I don't know.
Can we? Is this still going?